What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Football Physios, where we cover everything in the world of soccer, fitness, and rehab. In today's video, we are going to talk about GPS trackers, and specifically, we are reacting to a reel that was put out by Joner Football a few months ago, and we're going to break it down entirely from a physio and sports science perspective, because he thinks GPS trackers are completely rubbish, and we are going to discuss that in today's video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get this video up right here.
GPS trackers are a load of rubbish.
That is a strong statement, and it is a bold statement which doesn't allow for very much wiggle room. And whenever you hear anybody, this argument aside, whenever you hear anybody say a very one-sided statement like that, chances are they're not completely right or wrong, because there is gray in everything. There's gray in everything, and I bet we're going to see some gray as he goes through this. This is probably a hook just to get your attention, which, to be fair, it did.
Oh, full stop.
That's a massive statement there.
They're good for one thing: pre-season, managing players' workloads.
Well, he just said two things. He said it was good for one thing. He just said two things: preseason and managing player workloads. And there's a lot more things that it's good for, I could tell you right now. A GPS device is simply a statistics collector. It's going to tell you what numbers you want to know, what numbers you need to know. You have to have the intellect to know what numbers you should want to know, but it's simply collecting data, and it collects it on everything. For example, it could tell you how long a training session will be. It'll tell you how much you ran. It can tell you how fast you ran in each zone. If it's linked to a heart rate monitor, it can collect your heart rate. If you have the ability to visualize the data, you can see exactly where you are on the field. If you're supposed to be playing left back and you're consistently on the right side of the field, it will show that in a heat map. Most importantly, a GPS tracker is completely objective. There's no arguments, there's no discussions. A number is a number, it is what it is, and you move on. Now, I'm curious, do you guys think that a GPS tracker is good for one thing and one thing only? And I'm just curious, if it's good for preseason, why wouldn't it be good for in-season? And why wouldn't it be good for postseason? And why wouldn't it be good for off-season? I'm just asking. Let's move on.
Yeah. Right? But here is where I'm saying they're a load of rubbish, and here is why it's affecting the game.
If a GPS tracker is affecting your game as a player, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. And if you're a coach and it's affecting the way you view the player, well, chances are you need to start asking yourself different questions, because you shouldn't go to a GPS tracker or the stats without having questions that you want answered. You need to be as specific as possible to find what you're looking for. But let's see if he's going to elaborate on this point. Let's continue.
Exactly the same. I do think, as you said, they do have a part in modern football for like the sports scientists.
They have a part for the physios, the head coach, the assistant coach, everybody. But let's continue.
The workload.
To monitor stuff like that.
Yeah,
100%.
100%. I said that.
But I think when you put it into a game, what you're getting there, and that shouldn't be judged.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, that, like, you're running stuff, that shouldn't be judged. Like,
when the game has clearly gotten more physical in the last 10 years, which is proven, it's absolutely proven, although total distances in matches have stayed relatively the same over the last 20 years. If you look at the distances run in high-speed running and sprinting and changing of direction in the Premier League, it's dramatically gone up in the last 10 to 20 years. Dramatically. And yes, I do think your running stats is something you should be judged on, and every player should be judged as an individual in the context of the game and in the context of the instructions they were given from their head coach. For example, if you are a fullback and you've only run 2 kilometers an entire match when, to be honest, your other teammates are running 8, 9, and 10, well, something's wrong. And I will use that stat and I will bring it up if I'm meeting with a player, because it's objective and it clearly shows exactly where the problem lies. The most important part of any footballer's game is their technical ability, but that does not diminish the impact that a physical element of their game can have on their play. And if you have a tracker that can track exactly that, then It's in your best interest as a footballer to use it. But let's continue.
Because I could go out and run 14 kilometers a game and touch the ball 5 times. Does that mean I've had a good game?
No, mate. If you have someone like
Doesn't mean you had a good game. Doesn't mean you had a bad game. All it means is you run 14 kilometers. Let's move on.
Zidane, do you think he ran flipping 15Ks a game, or do you think he just dominated the ball and dominated games?
Wait, hang on. Let's
think-
rewind there. Let's rewind there for.
Go out and run 14 kilometers a game and touch the ball 5 times. Does that mean I've had a good game?
No, mate. If you have someone like Zidane, do you think he ran?
He's bringing up Zidane. I don't know what to say. The one thing I can't stand is when somebody brings up a legendary player like Zidane and said, well, Zidane didn't do it, so why should I? Let's move on.
Flipping 15Ks a game, or do you think he just dominated the ball and
He dominated the ball in the games because he's Zidane. He's Zidane. You're not Zidane.
dominated games?
Nah.
Do you think when he dominated a game, they're like,
draw 15Ks a then?
but you judge your performance on what you've done with the ball, or how well you, whatever position you're, how well you've defended, or whatever. Overall, really, not with how far you've ran.
How many?
That's true. That point is true. But I think we're done with this reel. We're understating the importance of having a clear and critical mind when you're analyzing and interpreting any statistical evidence that's in front of you. And that's not just GPS. Numbers don't tell a story. Numbers are numbers. You need to have somebody in place who is able to analyze the numbers and analyze the point of view of a footballer's game and put 1 and 2 together. You have to, otherwise numbers are just numbers. My take-home message to you guys today is this. If you have a GPS tracker or your team has GPS trackers, spend some time learning what the numbers mean, because once you know what the numbers mean, you are able to put 1 and 2 together, because you know your own game. If you're a coach, you know your player's game. If you can understand just a little bit of the sports science side, a lot of things will make more sense to you. And no, GPS stats are not completely rubbish. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay tuned to all of soccer's biggest injury and fitness updates. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.